Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? We back. We back. After a long awaited time off, but trust me, we missed y'all and we happy to be here today. Welcome back to another episode of the Open the Mind podcast. New season, season
Yes,
3,
sir.
episode 1. Q, my brother, before we get into anything else, always gotta tap in with you. How you feeling, my dude?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Like you said, it's been a minute. Um, I guess I kind of look at this a little bit like as old school music. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
the reason why music had so much substance back then is because the artists had to really go through something for a minute. And it's kind of like how it was. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
um, you guys haven't heard from us since I want to say March of this year or something like that. Yeah, I think it was March of
April,
this year.
April, April, April.
April. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you guys haven't heard from me since April. I'm just glad to be back. Obviously, we're gonna start with some announcements, but we're gonna get right into the pod, though, bro. I appreciate you. How you doing, though? You cool?
Listen, I'm feeling great, feeling refreshed, feeling excited for everything that we talked about off cam, of course, for what
Word.
we look forward to do for the podcast moving forward for the rest of 2026. But yeah, long awaited break, but well needed though. We're gonna touch on it a little bit more, but we definitely decided to intentionally take the month of May off, so it wasn't nothing that we weren't being
Yeah,
consistent. We were lacking in discipline. We intentionally took this time off,
yeah,
just for some life purposes. We had things going on, but still just appreciate the support. Appreciate anybody that's reached out and asked questions about the pod and asked when we was going to get back to it. And hopefully we're going to answer them questions today. But we got some things that we want to get into, some announcements that Q wants to cover. So I'm gonna pass it over to you, my brother.
yeah. Um, so where do we start? So obviously, as you guys know, at the previous episodes, we used to always say, brought to you by Next Play Studios. We didn't say that anymore, right? Next Play Studios is not a thing anymore. Um, Sports dropouts is not a thing anymore. A calm drive is not a thing anymore. So officially starting with this episode, um, which if you did subscribe to Next Play Studios, you don't gotta do nothing. But if you're new, obviously welcome. But starting with this episode moving forward, you will hear us say subscribe, follow us, and keep up with us on Open the Mind podcast. So that's on YouTube. Again, Open the Mind podcast. No more Next Play Studios. Again, nothing wrong. People just went separate ways. No bad blood at all. But us, I know Jalen and I, we wanted to continue Open the Mind because this is what means more to us um, than anything. I know you probably seen my face if you're new. I mean, if you're old, you probably see my face on Couch Lore, where that's not even connected. So you won't hear us say, "Oh yeah, Open the Mind and Couch Lore." No, it's Open the Mind and Open the Mind only, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
excited for that. And I did. We both already said it. But just a quick salute to all our fans over there from A Calm Drive. That officially did
Word.
end. I know we didn't give no real announcement to that. Um, but yeah, music was one of those things that was just near and dear to both of us here, and we just decided to, end it. And it wasn't anything personal. It was just, it was kind of like one of those things where like you're making time for something that you have more fun with doing subconsciously, right? So
Word.
Jalen and I, we talk about music just on any given day, and when we talk, we could go around and talk for 3 4 hours straight about music. And it's one of those things like it's like, damn, we wish we would have recorded that, but it is what it is. And music is one of the most subjective things. So for one, everybody that tapped into the Calm Drive playlist, I'm pretty sure I speak for Jalen here as well. We were glad to put you on to some good music. And the overall goal at the end of the day of a Calm Drive was to get you guys to listen to new artists, listen to
Word.
new music. Be not afraid to maybe listen to a house song or an Afro house song or vice versa. Hey, maybe you were so rap. Hey, listen
We
to this
got this
R&B.
R&B.
Right. So that was really the initial goal. But again, there's so many platforms out there. So, and again, Open a Mind is just something a little bit, actually, a lot more near and dear to our heart. Again, we feel like this is a lot of God's work here. The music will always be there. If you want to hit us up, I mean, a Calm Drive's page is still there. So if you guys want to still, tap into some music or something and ask a question, I'll answer it. The page itself is still there, but it's
New content.
farewell, farewell.
Yeah.
um, so again, brief summary, quick wrap that up. Again, no more Calm Drive, no more Next Play Studios, no more Sports Dropouts. It's singularly only Open to Mind podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before we get in the conversation, just want to preface this again. I know I've stated this in previous episodes. We're not therapists. We're not
No,
licensed in any kind of way. We're not professional as far as what we talk about here. These are just conversations amongst men, amongst brothers, amongst friends that allow each other to have the space and the capacity to be able to have these conversations wherever they don't feel comfortable to do that. So even for the conversations that you've seen in the past, that's what this is for. And it's not just for men, like we stated before. It's also for women as well. Looking forward to the future guests and anybody else that wants to come along for the ride. But
oh
that's what
yeah,
this is.
that's a sorry, bro, not to cut you off.
No, no, you good.
I know we got, I know we got at least two guests that
Yeah.
they've been sitting on a butt waiting on us. We
Hmm.
apologize. The ball is rolling now. Make sure y'all stay close to y'all jacks or y'all DM because I know, well, the one for me at least is somebody personally close. Hey, make sure
Word.
you answer that text because when we ready, we're gonna be on here. So
It's on. It's on. But yeah, man, just excited to be back. Um, super super blessed to be able to have the time off and just have the moments in between from when we last recorded up until now. And we have a lot of things that we got to touch on. So
we're
for starters, we had our birthdays. So Q, your birthday came before mine, obviously. And even also on top of that, it was a not saying it was a bigger birthday, but it was a more
yeah,
milestone moment for you as
milestone.
well. Entering your 30s and leaving your 20s, but definitely just want to touch on both of our perspectives. Entering a new year of life, and also just the moments in between that for each other. So, how well for one, how was your birthday, and how does it feel to be 30? And then I'll allow you to expand on everything else.
Yeah, bro. So my birthday was good, bro, and I appreciate that. But yeah, my birthday was good. Um, it's funny because I was telling my girl, I was like, probably my birthday's the beginning of May. Jalen's birthday is the week after. So I was telling my girl probably in like mid-April, I was like, I don't feel myself. I don't know what's going on. Like, it just internally, I just didn't feel myself, right? And I don't know if it was the pressures of becoming 30 or I really couldn't explain. Like, I just didn't genuinely didn't feel myself. And for my birthday, I ended up going up to DC. I kept it, pretty local for the most part. And I ended up going out DC, and I pretty much saved this for the pod. But one of the biggest highlights was my girl actually knew this before I did. But she was like, "Hey, let's go to um, the Lincoln Memorial and watch the sunset."
Mm,
That's like a real big thing down there in DC. Lincoln Memorial
yeah.
got all those stairs, and you can see the sunset go. Even though the sunset technically is behind you, but still you get the allure of the sun going all the way down. And I sat there, and we were kind of just watching the tourists, crap ton of tourists, and I was just sitting there, and out of nowhere, I just started crying. And I was like, damn. I'm like, what is going on? She was like, what's going on? I'm like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. And I'm like, damn, I didn't imagine that 30 was going to be the birthday will be 30. I didn't imagine that 30 was going to be the first birthday that my grandma wasn't going to call me and say happy birthday. And that
Mm,
killed me. That killed me.
mm, mm.
Like, I genuinely, as a man, being vulnerable, that's what open mind is about. I cried for like
Right.
20 minutes, bro. I couldn't.
I get
Like,
it.
there's people walking by, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just like,
Hmm.
Damn, because my grandma calls me no matter if she's sick, no matter when she's
Yeah.
healthy, no matter, she always called me on my birthday no matter what. Um, so that was like the highlight of turning 30. And after that, it was just like I kind of felt like I had like a purpose after that now. Like once I got it off, it was kind of like, all right, well, if this is what getting older means, like it's time for me to like just lock in even more. And
Hmm.
that came with a little self-reflection of over the years with my kids and self-reflection over life. Like, damn, like these people aren't around anymore, and these people I used to talk to, okay, they cool, but they moved around. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh damn, I used to be super tight with this person, and they're all the way on the other side of the country now. And me and my barber, we started music together. We started off nothing, and now he's all the way in L.A. With a big family. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Right.
damn, like this is 30. Like this is 30. It's no longer that just wake up and call your folks that you used to rumble with. Like everybody's just unfortunately either dead, they're in jail, incarcerated, or they're just moved on, period, and they're not even in the States and stuff like that. So that was like the highlight then for me in that birthday of me turning 30. And yeah, it definitely put into perspective a lot of things. I definitely like made it a promise to myself to like the relationships. I feel like at 30, you should start, if not already, you should start to have those relationships in your life that are meaningful. They're long while, right?
Hmm.
I'm not saying you don't go meet new friends. I'm not saying none of that because, again, we talk all the time. We talk about timelines. I'm a big person about timelines. So you can meet somebody tomorrow for the very first time, and they might do something. Oh shit, they might tell you something or do something that is more meaningful than your best friend that you know since you was five, right? That doesn't
Word.
really, you're not comparing the two, but that's just how sometimes things work, right?
Hmm.
But what I'm bringing that up is because with, you know, the people that I know now and the people that are still around now, I'm like, nah, these are the most genuine people. I think we had this conversation in here before about the value we us evaluating the circle of friends. Like, yo, what is
Word.
this person doing? What are they bringing to me? What is this person doing? What am I bringing to them? So it was a lot of that. Um, and then that was about it. Like I feel like a lot of people they be turning 28, 29, and then by 30 they like, oh my god, I don't have the house, I don't have the blah blah blah.
Hmm.
That didn't really that didn't really do nothing for me because time and time and time and time and time again, God has showed me, hey, be patient. Be patient. Your turn will come. Your turn will come. Be patient. Like, and at times where I'm looking left and right, like, damn, bro, like, when is it my turn? Boom, here come God, dropping it. Boom, it's your turn now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not really too out. That part didn't really get to me. And I know that everything happens for a reason. Shit, I'm here. I'm here with my dad. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of shit going on with himself. So I'm happy to be around him. Like, I would hate to be it's just not my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
not going to sit here and cry like, oh my God, I don't got the crib. I don't got the blah, blah, blah. I should be it. Nah, my immediate family right here needs me. Like, they need me.
Yeah.
Like, I help my dad
You
on a day to day basis. You know what I'm
you
saying?
have
So,
purpose within that.
exactly. So it's like, I'm cool. But um, yeah, so that was 30, bro, and now I'm real comfortable now. I'm not gonna lie, like they kind of say like I feel like when we was young boys, they said, well, they still do, they still look at 30 as the old heads, but I think and now it's changed as like to the old heads, people just be like, oh yeah, 30, you're just an older 29. Like it's just
Yeah.
like wait, what?
Yeah.
But nah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's just like there's really nothing changed with my age. Like I still feel 20. I still shit the other day people ask, oh wait, you're 30? No way you're 30. Yeah, bro. How old
Right.
do I think I look, bro? Like so
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty much mine. But yeah, I know you're getting close to that age. How about you, bro? How was your birthday and any
Yeah.
revelations or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, before first, one, I just appreciate you even sharing that moment with me, bro.
For
Like
sure,
I
for
said,
sure.
that's what we talk about. That's what these moments is about. That's what this pod is about. But that's just a beautiful, beautiful story, and just what you want to call it, like mantra or proclamation to just what that experience was for you. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, big 2-8, you know, um, it's weird because it's like we talked about this before because it's like ever since 25 it just is just like all right, I'm just 1 year closer to 30. Like
Yeah,
not saying
yeah,
that 26, 27, and even right now 28 doesn't matter, but it's kind of like, well, shit, I'm already at the door. I might as well walk through the door.
right,
But
yeah, yeah, exactly.
nah, but it was beautiful, bro. It was an um amazing people. I mean, you think about when for your birthdays, you're supposed to do something. You're supposed to celebrate at a grand level, or travel somewhere and experience things. And I've done that. I was able to do that, and God has blessed me to do that the last 2 years for my birthday. 3 years for my birthday, actually. And just very appreciative of those moments. But I kind of wanted to do it a little bit different. I didn't want to do anything. A lot of people, a couple weeks before that, yo, what you doing for your birthday? Like, what you got planned? Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't
Yeah, yeah,
want to do anything. Like,
right.
damn, like you don't want to do nothing. Like, you got to do something. I'm like, yeah, I mean, if something comes, then maybe like then
Word.
we'll make it happen. And granted, like I did have some plans, some ideas to do something, but nothing felt concrete. Nothing felt like something I really wanted to do. It just felt like I was forcing it. But one thing that I was intentional about this year is, having shared experiences with my loved ones and shared experiences with people that I care about the most. So that's exactly what I did. I ended up going bowling. My birthday was on a Tuesday, so I ended up going bowling like that weekend before with just a few friends,
Mm,
close friends. Sent out those, invitations or whatever the case may be, and you know, things played out how they were supposed to. But even within that, that's all I really had planned. Like that was my birthday, and I just was going to chill, stay at the crib, and just enjoy my time off because I was taking a week off from work. Lo and
yeah.
behold, my mom, my cousins, everybody that means something to me throws me a surprise party. So that was the first time probably since I was a youngin. Like maybe I want to say like 11 or 12 maybe.
Right.
Like cuz 12 is like, you get to that point where you a teenage, like that next year you a teenager, so like the cake and candles don't always seem as cool, or you may not want to do that because that's a little kiddish. So you kind of steer away from that. But like having that, you know, what 16 years from that's not 16 years, is it?
Yeah,
Damn, it
16.
is. Yeah, that sounds like a long time. But having that 16 years from now, um, it was emotional because it felt good to be able to have that acknowledgement and have that appreciation and just feel that love genuinely in one room with everybody that was there. A few of my friends came through. I had soft launch, but I had my girlfriend there, and that
Yeah,
was a beautiful moment for me to be able to introduce her to all of my family members and just have that love around me. And I had
yeah,
moments even within the party where I'm just kind of saying to myself, and I'm like, this is everything that I needed,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So, like, for me, it was a little bit like to what you said, um, just within, you know, understanding timelines and understanding your time frame, because I didn't have no pressure going into 28, but of course, you think about yourself getting older and how fast time has went. And then you think about, dang, like, I still need to accomplish this, or I still want to do that, or I still want to get the house, I still want to have the certain career, and you may not be there. But, I say this all the time to remind myself that there's no measure to your life to no one.
literally.
You
Right.
know, it's already written. God has your life mapped out, and you have to trust that plan. And in certain moments in life, you got to be able to really appreciate the beauty and the stillness. When things aren't moving and you feel like there's no motion and nothing's not happening, that doesn't mean that God ain't working on you, and that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that He's not
word.
working for you.
Fact,
And
fact.
so that was my moment to even realize that, like, I didn't have nothing planned for my birthday. I didn't want to do nothing for my birthday. I'm not even thinking about it. It's just another day. And the whole time, weeks before and days leading up to it, I got my cousins and my mom and my friends coordinating, doing things in solidarity,
Yeah,
getting decorations,
yeah,
food,
word.
cakes, candles, and all those
Fire,
things. You know
fire,
what I mean? Like,
fire.
and not knowing nothing about it. but that's just the beauty of how God works. It's the acknowledgement of you, even in moments where you think that you're not even being seen. So that was that was everything to me. It's something that I always will still remember, and it's something that I'll hold near and dear to my heart, no matter how many birthdays that I get granted after this one. But it was definitely a beautiful moment for sure.
And something like that, I add, it also kind of is that because I feel like a lot of times us, especially with family, we feel like we get worn down a lot. It's like, damn, my
Hmm.
mom need me again. Damn, my dad need me again. Damn, my grandma
Yeah.
need me again. I gotta go over here. Gotta, oh shit, this person wants me to hang out, but I can't because, or this person wants me to hang out. I'd be like, oh yeah, bro, we gonna link. We go all day, and literally 5 minutes before I'm about to be on my way, my mom called me telling me she need me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's a bunch of like that shit like that. But then you get this, and it's like,
Right.
oh, y'all do appreciate me. Y'all do,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all do see the work that I'm putting in, and not like and not in that sense that but you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who it is. We all as humans want to feel appreciated in some way. So even
Right.
though in those times where your plans might be ruined last minute and you're not getting a full thank you, or you might be feeling like, oh damn man, I'm missing out on blah blah blah. You get something
Hmm.
like that where it's like, hold on, wait, y'all are acknowledging me, so that feels good. That's
Yeah.
definitely tough. I can't remember the last time I had a surprise party.
Bro, I'm saying like that jump was just crazy. Like you feel
I
like
don't
a
think
little
I've
kid
ever
again,
had
low
one.
key. Really?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had a surprise party. No,
Damn.
not that I can recall. No, I'm also not to go not to go off track. I'm also very witty, so like I catch small stuff and just start asking questions.
Bro. But like that's my problem too though. Like, cause even before, like I was having like some type of inclination around it because of just like kind of like my mom was kind of giving it away to a point because she kept on calling me about certain stuff. Like, and it
Yeah,
was just like,
yeah,
yeah, like like you don't do this. So like even for me, it's like my mom knows I don't like surprises. People that know me when I say I don't like surprises because I don't like anticipation. I like to just know what's going on and just
right,
let's just get. That's the same reason I don't like scary movies. Fun fact. but like yeah, so it was beautiful to just have that and have that moment like, and even then, like, even if I don't get it again, that was all I needed because that was probably my first one and hopefully my last. Because I don't really need a surprise party. We could just do parties going moving forward and all that. But
right.
no, it was cool though, bro.
Yeah, that's really dope, and um, that actually kind of leads right into our next topic a little bit, about surprise. And
Mm.
our next topic here, and again, if you made it this far, we appreciate you. Remember, again, Open the Mind podcast on YouTube and Open the Mind on Instagram. Um, Surprise, and I want to talk a little bit about how it comes to us, a surprise to us, good men, us nice men, when our nice guy card is looked at as a lack of leadership, right? So recently, and this has happened on a few times on occasion, with me and my current partner now, where me playing nice wasn't the right answer, right?
Mm.
And but on our side, I feel like we're just playing the nice guy. Like, hey, I want you to, hey, like, yeah, like, sure, no problem. Like, well, how do you feel about this? Well, oh, you want to do this or do this? Oh, well, what are you in the mood for? Do you feel like, eating first, or do you feel like doing this first?
Consideration.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And, in some instances that turned into arguments, and you're like, again, surprised, or maybe not arguments, but more so mood changes, because you're like,
Hmm.
I'm just being nice. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong here? And I guess I want to talk about how, as men, it comes as a surprise if you're not really taught when to lead. It can end off and kind of give you this brash feel that you're at some points not a leader, when you're
Hmm.
looking at it as, like you just said, consideration. But somebody like a woman, where we as men we're supposed to lead our woman, they're actually looking for that leadership. And
Right.
because I feel like even like me growing up, I feel like the leadership came from, oh yeah, the house, oh yeah, the the car, oh yeah, like old school traditional. But like sometimes it's not, we sometimes we be in our own head as men, and it'd be like,
Hmm.
it could be just basic Saturday plans. Like I just had an instance right now. I just did it again, and we talked about this beforehand, but and again I started to implement this tactic of like leadership. But it was just like, yeah, like this Saturday I don't know if I want to do this or I want to do this, or well, actually it wasn't even a Saturday. My current partner was talking about where if she wanted to work from home or not. And I was like, well, do you what do you have to do in the office? She was like, oh, I have this and this and this. I'm like, okay, do you can do this, you can do this, and then you can work from home on Friday. She was like, okay, yeah, I think I'll just do that. But like any other time, I would have been like, oh well, how do you feel? Do you feel like working from home? Do you feel like coming in the office? Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to like really like kind of like break it down, because and see how you felt about you know the leadership and it having like it coming as a surprise, is it not always needing to be some massive thing. Like it don't
Hmm.
gotta be some, oh yeah, yeah, we doing this with the money, we doing this with the car. Oh yeah, nah, it can be something very subtle that you could still show your leadership skills in.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, like I'm still learning that daily. Like I learn. I don't even think that's anything, and it may even take a leader in any facet. So man or woman,
Yeah,
parent, teacher, any kind of way, to learn things like that over time. Like you know, that's not something that you're necessarily taught. That's something that you just kind of gain perspective of as things go on. So like for me, I just know that I don't like to be in an area of confusion with where I'm at with people. So I know like
yeah,
my leadership has sometimes came out of frustration. Sometimes
yeah,
my leadership has came out of irritability. So it's like even learning in those moments where it's like that may have softened me to be more considerate or be more you know uh, thoughtful towards my approach towards my relationships or even people. Specifically for my relationships, yeah, I've learned that women don't like a passive man. And not
yeah,
saying
right,
that, and not saying that you can't be passive because, we may still have our moments where we are. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to decision making, you want to know and lead with the direction of which you're seeing or which you would like to go. And then
right,
that's when, if it's at odds or if there's something different that your girl or your man might say, then that's where that space of conversation should be held in a healthy manner. But like, yeah, for like the small things, even just today, and I know we're gonna get tap into it a little bit more. Like before, we before we started recording, um, not even to get into the full scale of it, but like we had a
yeah,
conversation around something that she didn't like that I did, and it
yeah,
wasn't even to the point of like it was something serious. It was
mhm,
very very playful, but it was just more so like I could notice that it was something that caused a shift. And then like
yeah,
when any other time it's like I'm joking, playing it off, or whatever the case may be, but it prompted a conversation, and I wasn't necessarily being aggressive, but more so being assertive. Like, no,
yeah,
like if there's something that is bothering you, if there's something that is affecting you that I'm doing or saying, please let me know because that's what this relationship is about. I don't want you to ever feel
right,
like you don't have a voice, and that's where that consideration can come in. Because now I'm telling you, like, I don't want you to feel this way, and I want you to express yourself, and I want you to allow yourself to be this way with me
yeah,
so that we can now create healthy boundaries for ourselves in the future. So there's like leadership with a little bit of passiveness, but then also consideration. So it's like
right,
finding like, so even then it's like still finding like that healthy balance where before I'd have probably been like, "Oh, like I'm sorry you didn't like what I said," and I would probably try to like pander
right,
to your
right,
emotions
right,
and try to like tiptoe on eggshells around the conversation instead of just being direct. Because I didn't want to hurt feelings and I didn't want to get my feelings hurt.
It's a great, it's a great example. That's a great example. And
Yeah,
I want you guys to comment down below, like, how do you guys balance that leadership? Like, you know, what maybe tips or tricks do you guys have to where,
yeah.
hey, is it maybe that how is it something where is it situational? Is it, oh no, I just know my partner so well? Is it because I feel like it's a multitude of things that leadership can impact. Like
Hmm.
it could just be a real good relationship and I know you, or it could be, hey, well, I've been with you for 40, we've been together since high school, we've been together 30 something 40 years, so I just know, you know what I'm saying? So overall, but you did say something that was key, which is you learn it every day. Um, so yeah, comment down below, let us know what you're thinking as far as like your leadership
All right.
and like when to implement it and when to um I'm not gonna say capitalize, but like when is it a priority? Like when is it not a priority?
Yeah,
Because I'm also the type of man to for my woman. I want my woman to have some leadership because I
yeah.
also believe,
Word.
yeah, I also believe in a very direct. Uh, it's not really a statement. It's yeah. I mean, I guess it's more so a quote, which is, behind every man is a even stronger woman. So women they lead in their own ways. Men might
Hmm.
be the shield, Win might be the shield. We might be the guy, but it's low key. Sometimes the women is the sword. They're the one that's really going to get, moved. They
Exactly.
exactly.
And,
So
and
go ahead.
and to your point, I don't even mean to cut you off, but to your
Oh
point,
no no
like
no go
that's
go.
where it's like that's where like that respect of your woman comes even greater because it's like you see something bigger. You can also see a part of yourself in her, but you can even see something bigger in her that you don't even see in yourself. To where it's like
Yeah
you're adding so much value to what I have going on and to what I'm doing that not only do I look for your leadership, I respect your leadership, and I want it.
right
Like
right right.
I want to give you the space to be able to lead and like go in a direction away. Because shoot, like prime example, I don't know how to decorate. You feel me? Like I might see something on Pinterest or I might see something on the gram that looks cool, but as far as putting it together, nah, that ain't me. But I know that I could call on her to be able to be like, yo, like this is something that I have as far as a vision. I got the budget for this, and this. She'll send me a whole Amazon wish list right now,
Yeah, facts. My girl do the
straight
same.
up.
My girl's the
And it's not,
same way, bro.
you feel me? And it's no question and it's no answer. It's like, this is how you can do this. You can put this right here. You can have this right here. And that's still a form of leading in a way that a lot of people may not even notice or see.
Great example. That's
Yeah.
the greatest example. Um, yeah. Moving on. You got another great topic here. And this is kind of a lot of things that the beautiful thing about I love about our podcast is how like every topic kind of flows into each other, right?
Word.
So this topic kind of goes back into a little bit of the birthday topic, right? Um, it's overcoming pressures and fears in current or ex relationships. Um, and we have two different dynamics here. So I'll let Jalen start with his because I kind of want because I went first in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so again, without getting into any details, um, Jalen, my guy, um, again, congratulations. I know you're in the soft launch. Obviously I knew for a while, but
Yeah.
to everybody watching, we both about to be married up here, damn near. But outside of that, let's really get into that because we've had
Yeah.
talks about not only from the misses, but doubling back on that family and doubling back on probably the number one, which is Mom Dukes,
Yeah.
and some of the pressures of what a relationship can bring, and obviously that would be offspring. Obviously that would be
Mm-hmm.
the extension of the family, and I want to get into to you because you're at 28, and to give a little backstory about where also I'm pulling from. I remember when I was in high school. Funny story. I'll never forget the story ever, 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 ever. I'll never forget the story. I remember in high school when Instagram first was popping, and I was at my best friend's crib, and we were scrolling on the gram. We were scrolling on the gram, and we were like, "Oh yeah, this chick fire, but she got kid." And my man's stepdad at that time, he came around the corner. He said, "Kid," he said, "First of all, y'all in high school. By the time y'all look up in the next 10 years, all y'all gonna have kids, or every girl around you gonna have kids." And I was the first one to have a kid out of
Mm.
all my friends. I was the
Yeah,
first one to have a kid out of all my friends,
yeah,
right? Um, so again, pulling from that, knowing that you're 28 now, it ain't early. It's early by like old school means, but it ain't late either. I know your girl's kind of on the she on the fence, and like I said, we joke with it all the time that one day it's kind of it's going to start showing that one day that
mm.
oh, we can wait, and then the next day I'm kind of ready. Um, how are you feeling though? Like, what are those pressures that maybe, or what are those second thoughts that you might be having? And by second thoughts, I don't want the missus or anybody to look at the second thoughts as a bad thing, but it's just as
Yeah.
a man, like we know as men we gotta provide, and the biggest thing with you was that relationship with your dad. How is that? Like, how does that play into maybe some of the decisions or maybe some of the fears that you might have of fully committing to having, offspring? And I don't know why I'm keep saying offspring like they're animals, but kids and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, it's so as far like I'll touch on the that part first, and then go into the whole idea of like what I feel about the pressures of everything. I've never ran away from the idea of having kids.
Hmm.
I've always entertained it. I've always and still like look forward to that. But I have patience knowing what I know from hearing other people that have kids.
Hmm.
Not having my dad in my life makes me want to be a father even more. I've always
Ooh,
said that. I've always said that, and I
wow.
mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, if God blesses me with one, if God blesses me with five, I'm going to be there for every single last one of them. But yeah, to what you said, appreciate it. To what you said though, like the pressures, I feel like I had more pressures of it when I was single, because at that time I wasn't
Mm,
really looking for a relationship. In those moments, it was kind of like I'm just like doing well in my current life. Like I have my place, I have a decent paying job. I'm handling my bills well. I'm just living like the bachelor life in a sense. But it's like the pressure came from it. Like, damn, like I would love to kind of experience this with somebody else.
yeah,
Like, I've had my fun. I've partied. I've been outside and all of the things that we talk about. Outside of this. But it's like it does get to that moment where it's like you see your friends start to have kids.
yeah,
You see the reactions of their families, and everybody's excited. The moms are excited to be grandmothers, and everybody's excited to be a niece. I mean, everybody's excited to have a niece and nephew, or just a new addition to the family. But that started to come more and more in my later years, because I'm like, shoot, like they're in a relationship. They getting their stuff together. They're having a kid. Now they
yeah.
about to have a kid. And it just kept going on, bro. Like it just kept piling on. I can't even front. To where it's like I got to that point where I'm like, well, shoot, am I even going to get like? I'm like, am I even going to get married? Like, am I even going to get to the point of like, you know, finding love, having marriage, and then doing this, or like, am I just going to be one of those people that just has a kid with somebody that I'm just kicking it with, and then we
Yeah.
just deal with this thing called life? But
Right, right.
now, now it's interesting because yes, my mom has been. My mom has been planting to see the kids since I was 25. And even though she playfully does it in a healthy way, I know she's looking forward to the fact of being a grandmother one day. She wants to be a grandmother. She wants to have grandkids. She wants to spoil and rotten and all those different things. But that idea and that pressure comes from more so like just the capacity of what I'm doing currently in order to be able to have it.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily entertain the idea of kids, especially with my girlfriend, because we know that we have certain plans and goals instilled for ourselves in order to even get to that point.
Yeah.
One of them is financially, another one is, spiritually, and then just within our relationship. And then when those things are met, then that time will come. Of course, there isn't a timeline. We can't predict or, say when that's supposed to happen because we can't dictate anything. But yeah, it's very much coming from both sides. Like, they see us and they see how well we communicate. They see the chemistry. They see how things are, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, can you guys just be parents already?" And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, what happened to marriage first?
Right.
Like, what happened
Right.
to some of these things that, like, you instilled in us when we was kids, or you told us not to do. So it's a very interesting perspective to have, just from seeing myself at this point now. Because if you was to say this, I was going to be like this in the beginning of 2026, I would have said how. Like, seriously, how?
Right. Right.
But like
Right.
we look at it 8 months later, and it's like, okay, I see how things can form. I see how things can work. Um, but it's just still just doing your part. It's still just making sure that you guys are intentional with each other every day. You're having those conversations in a healthy magnitude. Because at first it was like, I don't even know if I want to have them. Then
Ooh.
it's like, well, I do, but it just depends on my relationship. Then it is, I don't want to have them past a certain age, and I want to be able to do these things first. Now it's
Mm.
like, well, if we're going to do this, I want us to be able to have this. So it became a slow build of, like, first it's just the conversation, then it was the idea, and now it's like the plan.
Mm.
To where it's like,
That's
now we talk about having these things with each other. Before it was just like, oh, when if I'm able to have kids. Now it's like, well, if we're whenever we have a kid. So
yeah.
even that is kind of like exciting, and it's like, even it makes me feel good as far as just where we're at and what we can look forward to. But then it's also like, pump the brakes. Y'all still have time to be able to enjoy each other in a space of just, boyfriend and girlfriend, and God willing, man and wife.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if those things happen the way that we planned it, then of course, then our baby boy or baby girl will come. But even then, if it comes before that, we'll be ready for it.
That's that's beautiful, bro. Yeah. Yeah. And just for time, because we have a little bit more to get to.
Right.
Um, Beautiful answer. And uh, I think because I felt the same, not the same, but the pressures wise I felt with my mother, because it
Mm-hmm.
was like, dang, like it was a lot going on with my mom and my dad, and my mom took off, and then it was like, dang, but I want my kids to know their grandma on my mom's
Right.
side, obviously. And yeah, it was just one of those things that, like, once it happened, you start to realize that, like, things just work out. Like, maybe some of the things that you weren't even thinking about, and this goes for both of y'all. Maybe some of those financial goals, maybe some of those, uh, you know, whatever other goals that you guys have. I'll just stick to financial. If you guys are saying, "Oh man, I want to be making this much," you might mess around and get pregnant, and then next thing you know, a job lined up at the same time as she pregnant. You know what I'm saying?
Where.
So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where God works in mysterious ways. So it's like,
Yeah. For
um,
sure.
definitely, from a brother to brother to brother, like I don't think there's really no any time for you to be ready, but I know if the day of tomorrow, if 2 hours ago you hit me and said, "Bro, I'm about to be a pop," I know you would be an amazing pop. So don't ever let that, don't ever let no nothing, stop you from that, bro. Like you're. It's one of those things where you're never gonna be ready. Like there's never really no timeline for you to be ready. You
Where.
just gonna have to
Yeah.
step up. You know.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, bro. Definitely. Um, but yeah, no, that's just the beauty of it, and it's exciting. It's exciting to, like, have somebody that's even just like minded, and, like, entertains the idea now, and actually looks forward to doing this with you.
Yeah.
It's not like if we work out or if this is a thing, it's like it's a certainty. Like we're gonna get to this point. We just don't know how or when. So like it definitely does sit well in my heart to even just have that currently.
Facts, facts, facts. And I'll let you take over for the second half.
Yeah, no, but speaking on fatherhood and speaking on um, just even just the like we could talk more so even just the effects of it. You know being a father um, and just even experiencing that, you kind of just welcome me into that world that you have with your kids. One, it's beautiful. Um, love the leadership and love that you have for them and things that you instill in them early. Because you don't have
Yeah,
grown kids, like you got kids still, like they're still
yeah, yeah,
young,
yeah.
but there's a certain thing that you kind of instill in them that they understand, and like you could just kind of see that. But for one, I want to speak on your relationship currently, and matter of fact, we'll speak on that in a little bit. I want to talk about some of the things that you've had to learn and some of the effects that you've had of fatherhood current, like in the past, certain things that you've had to outgrow, but also certain things that you had to overcome.
Uh, yeah. So, about fatherhood in general, I would say, I mean, it's again, open to mind. All our topics they bleed into each other. So
Yeah.
it's never ending learning. The same thing we said with the leadership thing. Like I feel like, literally every day it's like, okay, because the thing about being a parent, which I think as a parent we get so wrapped up into the bills, into what's next, into blah blah blah, we
Mm,
forget we're watching someone grow.
mm,
So a lot of times the learning is, today your kid said, or 2 weeks ago your kid said, oh yeah, my favorite food is this, and then now they're saying their favorite food is this, and then you kind of put the timeline together. Well, okay, well, I cooked this for lunch, or excuse me, I cooked this for dinner. They went to school and had this. They went, okay, wow, they're starting to grow up to really expand their taste buds. Like you forget
yeah.
like the small intricacies, like, yo, you're really watching somebody expand their mind in all facets, from learning,
Mm,
from experiencing, to getting hurt, to smiling and having fun. Like you're literally
yeah.
watching. And I think as a parent, it's funny because have you ever seen like those uh you ever seen like those it's like those like not those like, it's like a circle. It's like a circle, and you pull it apart, and it's all one. It's usually like a circle. It's like a slinky.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like
I
a
don't even know what
parent
you're
is.
calling, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those. I feel like your kid is that, and you are like the gaps in between each individual part. So
Mm,
it's like this is the kids. This is your kid's life. You pull the slinky apart. You're in. They're born here. You're in that gap. they they learn how to roll over for the first time. You're in that gap. They learn how to snatch off their bib. You're there in the you know what I'm saying, like you're just there
hey,
at
it's
each
every
little
little moment. Yeah.
small. Exactly. And so that's why I say it's like it's always something to learn with your kids. And something that I had to give up was kind of something that you I learned with life overall, which is, and even with kids, because I think like even when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, if I got some boys, like they're just gonna be tough, like they got it tough, tough, tough. But like even now, like I have like, it's like I'm not tough on them. I want them to learn the way, I want them to learn that the world isn't going to be soft on them. But I also have like this humongous bubble around them that I didn't know would exist. It's
Mm,
like, it's almost like you ever watch like a cartoon or something like that, and it's just like some their main character is like shining a trophy, and then they put it on the shelf, but they could be talking to their best friend, but as soon as their best friend go near the shelf, it's like whoa, 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 get away from that shelf, get
yeah,
away from that shelf. That's
yeah,
how I am. It's just like,
yeah.
hey, you gonna fall, I'm gonna shine you off, bro. You gonna
Right.
make mistakes, I'm gonna shine you off. It's gonna be days where you gonna have a great day. I don't have to shine you off. But it's like this. I had to like learn to like it was like a weird balance. Like it was because it was certain times, and especially because I got one that's in one that's getting closer and closer to middle school, but then I got
Mm,
one that's starting in the elementary.
mm,
And I remember some of those things that my oldest was coming home, like, oh yeah, this person was making fun of me, and this person was doing this, and this one, doing it. And it's like, all right, I'm about to pull up to the school, like, yo, what's up? Let me pull
yeah,
up to the
yeah,
school, like,
right.
who, yo, this is the second or third time your kid is. Now I'm not
Like,
talking
where
about
your
the
parents at?
right, right, and and so it's like but then again, I had to learn like you kind of got to go through that a little bit because you're gonna be in a corporate setting one day, and they're gonna be talking about you, and it's gonna sound different, but you're gonna know they're talking about you. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be one of those things where you gotta have to be able to maneuver your feelings in a certain way to really just balance out and know that you're growing up. Um, but yeah, that would be like the biggest things for as far as those two things outside of any like other amenities or anything like that.
Got you. No, like that's even just a beautiful perspective on that. Granted, that's why I even said it because it's like those are the things that I see. It's like with even with boys, like you still just have the natural love as a parent, which you should, because you think with boys, like we're more negligent, we're more reckless as far as just how we go about things, and like people think that you still don't need to cater to that and love that and like love on that. So it's like I love the
Right.
idea of just yeah, I'm gonna repolish you. Yeah, you fell, but I'm you gonna pick yourself back up, but I'm gonna be here in order to let you know how not to fall again. But even with kids and also just you being in your relationship now, how was that introduction, and even how did you know or feel comfortable to then start just being able, like, because like you again, you're protective of that,
Yeah,
you
for
harness
sure.
that and everything like that, and even then you don't want to let past, not saying necessarily past relationships, but let anything from that past of just where your kids come from seep into what you currently have either. So what was that journey like, and what is the experience now, and even then what is there to possibly look even forward to, with all of those things.
Oh man, what a great question, and especially I love the way how you put that. Oof, it was a long journey,
Mm-hmm.
and even with my current partner, you know, those things bled over really badly, like really
Mm-hmm.
badly, right? And in those moments and times where they bled over really badly, I wanna, I was just, I had to have a lot of self reflection. And the biggest self reflection was, I'm like, I'm in a really blessed position because how our topics bleed into each other. I have a
Yeah.
woman, I have a woman that isn't afraid to tell me how she feels, right? And what I mean by that is, hey, I want to build with you. I want us to go to a bank and open up an account together. I want us to have these goals. I want to, when we have kids, I want to be able to swipe our card with our money to get what we need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you or me to now be in a hindrance because you have other priorities and other things you have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And
Right.
now as a woman, now that's making me a little bit worried about our future because I know where I want to be with you, but I don't know if you're going to be there with me because you're dealing with this shit. So then I had to have a lot of self-reflection because I had to say, well, the biggest thing, and especially as a black man, that keeps us from this shit is the system. And I just had to like literally lean into God fully and say, listen, this is over. This isn't happening anymore. it's hindering my relationship, my current relationship. It's hindering my relationship with my kids because
Mm,
the same things that I'm wanting to do with my kids, I can't because I just sent you half of my bread.
yeah. Mm,
So I can't even when my youngins come here, I can barely get ice cream from Mr. Softy. My kids is looking at the window going, "Oh, dad, an ice cream truck." And yeah, he'll drive by. What? I'm 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 damn near, you know, how shout out to all my gamers out there, but like I'm damn near the not as a parent in your kids' eyes, you're the 99 overall.
yeah.
You're supposed to doing everything.
Yeah.
But there's a big ass handicap. Imagine you're 99 overall, but you can only play with one hand on your controller.
Right.
It doesn't matter how good that 99 is. If you only got one hand, I'm gonna
You ain't
fry you
gonna.
every time.
Right.
Exactly, I'm gonna fry you every time, right? So I had to get a really, really big weight off my shoulder, and I had to really like lock in. Had to have a lot of self reflection about fear because I feel like as a man, the word fear is something that's like not asinine, but it's like it isn't talked about a lot. Like not a
Mm,
lot of niggas, not a lot of men come out and just say, "Yo, I was scared." A woman will quit,
right.
but a man, a lot of times, men don't have that vulnerability to say, "Yo, I was afraid. I was
Mm,
afraid." You know what I'm saying? And but I literally for like 2 weeks straight, I prayed. I asked God for the right words to say. And again, God works. It's funny because I was going to bring it up earlier when you were saying, that you were living that bachelor life. Because I remember when you was living with your mom, and you were saying, or living at home with your mom. And I remember when he had told me that you finally got yourself a new spot, and then out of nowhere, boom, you got a girl. You know what I'm saying? And to me, and it's funny that because you said you was living your bachelor, but I was like, to me that sounds so crazy because it was the same thing with me. Me and
mm.
my baby mom broke up. I had the apartment to myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to be. Oh, is she about to come over? She about to come over. N- nah, gang. God said, nah, gang. You're actually gonna move back home with your dad. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I say all that. I say all that to say, it was the same thing. I prayed, and I didn't bring it up. I was just praying and like kind of waiting for the right time. And then one day, bro, out of nowhere, literally out of the blue, God's work, she just said something to me and it just triggered me. Boom. I just went off. I'm like, you know what? As a matter of fact, that's not happening no more. We're not doing that no more. As a matter of fact, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be like this. I'm going to
Mm,
keep this. You can do you on your own side. As far as all the X, Y, and Z things, we can still split because those things are just bills that parents have to split. But if the young boys is with me, they with me. This shit mine. Same thing to go for you. Blah blah blah. And I broke all that shit
right.
down, and I just felt like a new, and it was just like, and that fear I had of it being like, all right, you know what, fuck it, nigga, I see you in court, blah 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 blah. It didn't exist, bro. It was just like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't know it was doing all that to you. Yeah, but we could just do this now. And at first I was like,
Yeah.
but then but then I was just like,
Yo. No. Bro. Okay. So just like how we said, like how topics kind of bleed into each other and they all kind of tie in. This goes right back into what we was just talking about earlier when it comes to just the leadership. Just
yeah,
like how sometimes feel
yeah,
me, like even just with like you, like
yeah,
necessarily you're not necessarily even thinking about like leading in anything. You're just telling her exactly how these things are going to go because that was on your heart and it was intentional. And when you
yo,
expressed
that
how you
part,
felt and you
yeah,
articulated it, bro, like everything just kind of went how it was supposed. Bro, that's crazy.
yeah, bro,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
bro,
Yeah.
yeah, bro, and even and even um, well, I'm not gonna say it. I'll tell you tomorrow personally, but like
Right.
even more recently, just for the pod, because I don't want to say that and be like, oh, y'all didn't say it. Even more recently, I got another message and it was like, what I'm saying, hey, like it was pretty much another apology, damn near.
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like that
Damn.
guy up top, and
Come on.
I went back into
Come
I went back to my missus and I let her know the deal, and even it was like two weights off both shoulders. It
For
was like I
sure.
got the weight off this John, and I got the weight off this John. It was almost like, back in the day when you watching the movies and the guy got to go hunt, but it's been 2 and 3 weeks for it, and they ain't find no animal, and then they finally get an animal and they bring that shit back. It's like,
Right.
all right, I'm not
We
I
good.
we good, bro. We good, right?
Yeah.
So, and that night, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Again, going back to the beginning of the pod, how topics just blend into each other. I got a real teary eyed because a lot of the things that I had on my palette as far as goals and stuff like that, they almost didn't seem like they almost didn't seem it was attainable
Mm-hmm.
because I'm doing all this extra shit for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, how is somebody supposed to get ahead? How is somebody supposed to, hey, how is Jalen supposed to get that, crib? How is Jalen supposed to get that $500,000 house? And they asking for a $8,000 or $9,000 down payment if every month you got to pay $1,000. It's not gonna happen
Right.
unless you
It's
just
not
come
even
into,
feasible,
unless you just hit a fucking parlay. That's just not gonna happen, bro.
bro. And I don't even gamble. You feel me? But nah, but it's bro. It's just so crazy. But like it's a testament to. And just I'll say this real quick, and then we can get into the final topic.
Yeah,
It's just a testament to I my mom has always said this to me, and I've always heard this, like, necessarily when it comes to prayer, but also when it comes to just your life and how you want it to go. You have to speak clearly, and you have to believe what you're talking about. Because if I'm
facts.
coming to God and I'm asking for something, the same way that I can come to you and ask for something, or come to anybody else and ask for something, one, it is a request, but two, I have to come to you like I believe that this should happen.
Yes,
And if
yes,
I'm not having that belief, I'm not having that faith, and if I'm not having even just the grace for myself that somebody can respect where I'm coming from, then it's not going to be it. And that's probably the same thing that was maybe holding you back in some moments where you wanted to speak up. I know that holds people back in certain moments where they want to say something and get some stuff off their chest. It's not necessarily about always how you say it. It's sometimes just even feeling like you have the moment to present it,
right, right, right.
you know?
Um,
But like that just kind of came up for you. You know, I won't say magically. It came up for you when it was supposed to. And I
Literally,
remember,
for
I
real.
remember we had the conversation prior and all those different things. And I remember, like I said, we spoke on it a little bit briefly. And even then, I'm just like, well, I don't know how bro's going to do it, but I just know he has to at some point. And
Yeah, bro.
you feel
Yeah,
me? Like, yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
literally how it happened. But for our watchers, again, men and women, let us know in the comments. Again, I was about to say couch Rule. Open a Mind podcast on
It's all good.
YouTube. Open a Mind on Instagram. Let us know about those things that you might have been fearful to overcome. Let them know about those pressures, and maybe even some anxieties you might have about those major stepping stones in life. And I think, and Jalen, you can tap into this if you want to, really quickly. I think there's even a small conversation about what those pressures about what it means to start a family. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really grow up with that. You just grow up in family. Like you just
Yeah.
grow up in a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when it's your time, and then all of a sudden you gotta, and this can even go to, hey, I have no kids, I just got a wife. There's still family in that you have to be able to balance and stuff like that. So, yeah, let us know in the comments below. Moving on to our final topic here because we are coming up on an hour. Um, just a real thing. I'm just gonna read this, John, to you, bro, and
Mm-hmm.
just a quick excerpt of what you think. So on Twitter,
Do it.
anytime I see this it, this tweet comes in a multitude of different ways. But for this one, it says, "Hit me with the harshest reality truth." And like I said, these type of tweets they come in multi. I've seen, hit me with. something, hit me with a quote that changed your life, or hit me with, you know what I'm saying, this is always like this. But so this one again says, hit me with the harshest reality truth. And somebody, somebody, this is what they wrote. Have you ever, oh, excuse me, have you seen someone who's less smart, less prepared, less qualified than you and still winning? You know they aren't that talented, but still they're achieving bigger things than you. That's Urum's law in action. It's when everything that should go wrong somehow works out just because they dare and keep going. You're sitting there overthinking, planning, doubting yourself while they're out there doing relentlessly, imperfectly, and shamelessly. We think that success follows logic, good school, smart ideas, right timing, but most of the people who win didn't follow a map. They just didn't stop. They're not better than you. They just didn't care if they looked stupid. They failed, they spoke up. They made mistakes in public. And while you waited to feel ready, they already built something. The reason people win isn't because it makes sense. It's because they move fast while you're still trying to find logic in everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what I was supposed to say to that. That,
Bro, I
bruh,
read that
that's
and said,
crazy.
facts.
No,
Facts, bro.
actually, um, no, because I mean, you have those moments, right, where you kind of just see people going about life however they want to, and just things just happen for them. But
Yeah.
success, okay, so like it's a few different things to touch on that. But like I read at one point before in a book called The Energy Codes, where fortune does favor the prepared mind, but
Yes.
how much preparing can you do without action? Because successful
Yes.
people are only successful because there was action put to the plan, and sometimes there was action without a plan.
Yeah.
Like, even just looking at, like, you know granted, we're still early into, like, our podcast as far as just doing this. Like, we're what, a year into this, like, fully, I
Yeah.
think. But
Yeah.
like, even just with, like, learning over time, some of our best episodes or some of our best recordings have came from not even talking.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Because really, what more can you do besides just go ahead and take the leap? And that goes in every way, and I think that's where, um, I'll say this and leave it there. It's my favorite thing to say to anybody is faith is daring your soul to go far beyond what your eyes can see.
Mm, what a bar.
So
I remember you told me that for the first time. I said, damn.
yeah, yeah. So in shorter terms, or lack of better words, sometimes you may not know if you turn left if that's going to be the right direction, but that's okay. Just like how we have maps, just like how we have anything, ways, whatever you like to use, you'll get rerouted. So
Yeah,
even if you take the wrong turn, wrong exit, wrong path, like I said in the beginning, this is how we bleed into our topics. There's no measure to your life.
at all.
Nobody can tell you what you're supposed to be. Nobody can tell you what you're supposed to do. God has a plan for each and every one of us, and He also has a purpose for us, whether it's fulfilled in a short time or a long time. So if it doesn't come tomorrow, or if it doesn't come in the next 10 years, trust that it will be there. So regardless of what's on your mind or whatever you're pondering, sometimes it's not required for you to go ahead and sit with it for so often. Sometimes you just have to do it and
Yo,
trust that it's going to work out, and trust that it's going to be the right decision that you made in the long run. But no, I love that. I need you to send me that. I need you to send me
I
that for
got you.
sure.
I got
Yeah.
you. I mean, I don't even have nothing to follow up. You did amazing on that. If you want to just end the John in prayer, and we'll go ahead and send you guys on your way.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Real quick before we even get into prayer.
Okay.
Yeah, real quick. So same thing, like with anybody that comments on the YouTube video, or even comments on the Instagram, preferably on the Instagram pages, because we appreciate that interaction a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if you guys have anything that y'all seen in a video or on a pod or even in some of the clips that we're going to post from this video today, um, please comment. Please let us know some things that you learned. Please let us know some things that you overcome. Please let us know your ideas and perspectives on any of the topics. And I will personally react to them in some kind of way.
Yeah,
I
for
want to
sure. That'd be
create,
dope.
I want to create better
That'd be
engagement
hella
amongst the
dope.
pod. Q does a better job running the social media just because I'm not a social media person, but
Hmm.
I do want to be a little bit more active on the page. So like that would be my way of just showing y'all love and just showing my interaction because um, I am a freak for shared experiences. I
Yeah,
love to be able to relate to people. I love to be able to connect with people in a holistic way. So please do that. I'll live react to them, post them on the story, tag you if you want me to, all of those different things. But I just wanted to get that off real quick. But
yes
we can
sir,
go
yes
ahead and
sir.
get into prayer. We don't want to hold y'all up for too much longer. Just all hearts and minds are clear. Father God, we thank you for another moment in time for us to be able to come together again as brothers. Uh, we appreciate your timing on both of us, dear Lord. We thank you for the experiences that you gave us to mold us into the men that we are. And we hope and pray that we're continuing to be servants unto you and reflecting the same love that you gave that you give us onto the people around us. God, we just pray that you continue to watch over all of us, all of our loved ones, and all of our supporters. Pray that you continue to allow us to be a vessel and to shed wisdom, experience, and love to anybody that we come across on this journey of open the mind. And we pray that you cover this podcast. We're not looking for, you know, we're not looking for major fruits. We're just looking
No.
to gain perspective and to be stronger and be better for ourselves as well as the ones around us. In Jesus' name, I pray. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and we thank everybody else for this moment in time today for episode 1, season 3. We are officially back. We are
Yes
officially
sir.
back.
Yes sir. Beautiful prayer. Hey, you guys here to hear it first again. Last but not least, just a repeating here again. No more next play. No more sports drive us. No more calm drive. Again, it's real simple, straightforward. It's Open the Mind podcast on YouTube. Open the Mind podcast on Instagram as well. For me, Q, Jalen, be sure we will catch y'all in the next episode. We won't leave y'all hanging. We got a lot of things
Yes,
to talk
sir.
about. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.